hate me, don't you? You 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 hate me, don't you?
Update for you on this David character D4vd, the TikTok singer star, on the update on the identity, finding out who the girl was that was in the Tesla. So Charlie Kirk was somebody, he's definitely a dude who was involved in politics. He was definitely involved in I definitely didn't really know who dude was, you know what I'm saying, so I did a deep dive and started looking and researching on his videos and said I didn't really know too much about dude, you know what I mean, but finding out and doing the research, you know what I'm saying, you come across these racial things that this dude has partook in saying. Yeah, what's going on? What's happening? You know what I'm saying? It is Kons Podcast, episode 301. You know what I'm saying? Episode 301 today. You know what I'm saying? Hope everybody doing cool. It is Thursday, you feel me? The pre-weekend before the weekend, you know what I mean? Hope everybody doing cool. Hope everybody been having a nice little productive week. You know what I'm saying? Leading up to the pre-weekend before the weekend on this fine Thursday. You know what I mean? It is 1:16 in the afternoon. You know what I'm saying? We have been getting a break from the heat out here. You know what I mean? And I'm hype about it. You know what I'm saying? Is I can't stand the heat. So we've been getting a break from that. We ain't had no 100-degree days, not even 90-degree days. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a high of like 79 or 78 or something like that today. You know what I mean? It's a good day to walk your pets or something. Go for a walk around the block or something. Get some air. Get connected with the earth. You know what I mean? But yeah, you know what I'm saying? I hope y'all enjoyed the last episode. Hope y'all enjoyed episode 300. You know what I mean? It was my 300th episode. You know what I'm saying? In that 300th episode, I let y'all know that Gunna finally responded to Young Thug in the midst of standing somewhere that was very dark, in a dark room or a dark alley, a dark street, whatever it was. You know what I mean? He was seemingly responding to all the bullshit that Gunna been saying and putting the allegations on him. You know what I mean? He said he fully focused on what he focusing on and ain't got time to focus on the bullshit that's going on in social media. Also let you know that a TikTok star by the name of D4vd, you know what I'm saying, also known as David, they found a body in his Tesla, a Tesla that was registered to him, I should say. The Tesla was at the tow yard. It was at the tow yard for about a week. You know what I'm saying? People started complaining about a stench of a body when police discovered it was a body in the front. That's the front trunk, you know what I mean? And also, back in August, a woman by the name of Irina Zaruska, a Russian woman that was stabbed in the neck on a light rail train and was unalived. You know what I'm saying? Dude said the reason why he did it is because he had a material in his body and they activated it, he said, and then she just got stabbed, he said, is what he said was the reason for his scumbag, egregious, horrible acts of violence that he committed and took a life of an innocent woman on the way home from work. You know what I mean? But that was episode 300. I hope y'all enjoyed those three little topics I have for you. You know what I mean? Today for episode 301, I got some updates. You know what I'm saying? Got some updates on D4vd, aka David, the TikTok star. You know what I'm saying? Got some updates on the body that was found in his Tesla. You know what I'm saying? Episode 300. We're gonna definitely go over that, and I also definitely gonna touch on Charlie Kirk. We all seen the video going around of him getting popped in the neck. You know what I'm saying? I done went down the rabbit hole, went down the deep dive of that. So I done seen a bunch of theories, a bunch of conspiracies, a bunch of ideologies, a whole bunch of stuff surrounding that, you know what I mean? I don't really know who dude was, you know what I'm saying? In the research, doing stuff, finding out things about him to put together for this episode here, you know what I mean? I found out a bunch of stuff about him. The dude was kind of, you know, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let y'all see. We're gonna get into that in the final closing thoughts of this episode, you know what I mean? But yeah, without further ado though, you know what I'm saying? This is gonna be episode 301. That's gonna be the two things we're gonna be talking about today. Charlie Kirk and an update on the David TikTok story about the body being found in his Tesla, you know what I mean? That's the two things I'm just gonna go over today. Then we're gonna get to the closing thoughts on what I feel about the two topics that we're going over today, you know what I'm saying? So without no further ado, without no more chit chat or banter, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna jump right into these topics. So first up, I got an update for you on this David character, D4vd, the TikTok singer star that had a body found in a Tesla that was registered to him at the tow yard. You know what I'm saying? Got an update on that. They have said that it was a female. We knew it was a female, but they said she had black hair. Mind you, her body was decomposing. You know what I'm saying? So it is hard to get evidence and find out who these people are when they start rotting away. You know what I'm saying? They also said she had a tattoo on her index finger that said shh, you know, as if you shh. She had the words SHHHH tattooed on her finger. You know what I mean? That's as far as they got, as far as the details go on the body that was found in the Tesla. You know what I'm saying? So this next little clip that you're about to see is just a clip from TMZ on the update on the identity, finding out who the girl was that was in the Tesla of this dude's car. Check it out.
We have updates on the shocking case involving a body found in the car of singer David. The body found in the Tesla was said to be badly decomposed and chopped up, but police are getting closer to identifying the victim. The LA County Medical Examiner issued a report saying that the victim was female, had black hair, and a tattoo reading shh on her right index finger. The corpse was also discovered wearing several pieces of jewelry and a bracelet in the shape of a W, which could be a clue to who the victim really was. David performed in a show in Minneapolis last night despite the investigation, and our sources are saying that he's being fully cooperative with police. Despite his cooperation with police, David has now had his collaboration ad with Hollister pulled from the site. As we learn more, we will deliver more updates. Follow to stay in the loop.
So as you've seen, you know what I'm saying, that was them reporting, letting you know that she had the tattoo of the shh on her index finger, as far as they are working to identify the body of the woman that was found in that Tesla. You know what I'm saying? And up next, Charlie Kirk. So Charlie Kirk was somebody, he's definitely a dude who's involved in politics. He was definitely involved in supporter of Trump. He was definitely involved in the running of Trump and supporting him to get into office. He was involved in the campaign. Definitely a political figure, dude. I've came across dude a few times looking up certain things, you know what I'm saying, seeing his certain political views or whatnot. I definitely didn't really know who dude was, you know what I'm saying, so I did a deep dive and started looking and researching on his videos and stuff that he was putting out. I definitely came across him before, you know what I'm saying, but we all seen the video of him getting sniped in the neck, you know what I'm saying, getting shot in the neck, bleeding out, all on the camera, you know what I mean, at the Utah campus. This is where this happened. He was there doing some type of speech, you know what I'm saying, and from the research I did, views is not shared by many, you know what I mean. He has strong opinions about things that don't match, I guess, society or a way a lot of majority of people might feel about certain things, you know what I'm saying. A lot of people didn't like dude, you know what I mean, due to his views and what he had to say on certain things. And then the deep dive, you know what I'm saying, I came across certain things that he would say about the black community, and he wasn't too fond of people that look like me, you know what I'm saying. This is in the research that I've just found out. Like I said, I didn't really know too much about dude, you know what I mean, but finding out and doing the research, you know what I'm saying, you come across these racial things that this dude has partook in saying, you know what I mean. So I got a series of clips, you know what I mean, because I did this deep dive and I was just saving a bunch of videos, you know what I'm saying, that I was sharing upon this deep dive. So I got news reports, I got conspiracy theories, you know what I'm saying, a whole bunch of stuff. Some people were saying that the shooter was the guy next to him, similar to how Kennedy got popped by the driver. A whole bunch of side stuff, shot him from the side, you know what I mean, just like similar how the driver did in the Kennedy assassination, you know what I'm saying. A lot of conspiracies is running wild with this one, you know what I mean. So Charlie Kirk sniped in the neck yesterday morning, you know what I'm saying, while taking questions at a school campus in Utah. A man was seen on the roof across from where he sat at. In this clip, you can see the moment before the shot came. Check this clip out.
It's 5. Okay, now 5 is a lot, right? I'm gonna give you some credit. Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great.
You seen, you know what I'm saying? That was the clip of the moment right before that the bullet came and struck him in the neck. You know what I'm saying? That was the clip of that. They stopped it definitely before the bullet came, but you get what happened. You know what I mean? Then they claimed they had arrested a shooter, which was some old white man. And while he was being carried out through the campus, he was screaming, "Shoot me." Some old white man that definitely didn't look like he climbed up no ladder and definitely don't look like he got prone in a prone position and sniped someone. He definitely don't look like the guy. I thought he wasn't him when I first seen this video. So this clip you're about to see right now was just the clip of the old white man that they arrested, and he was screaming, "Shoot me," while being taken in police custody. Check this clip out.
Shoot me! Shoot me! Was that you? We don't know if it's him or not.
You seen, you know what I'm saying? That was him screaming, "Shoot me," in that clip. You know what I'm saying? We just gonna go down the list and segue into all these clips I got. You know what I mean? So next clip, that dude was not the shooter. They ended up letting him go. You know what I'm saying? So this next little clip is the news report that they're saying that they captured the high-powered rifle, captured the weapon in a wooden case that was nearby. You know what I'm saying? So this next little clip you're about to see is a news report talking about they captured a weapon in a wooden case that was nearby. Check this clip out of the news report.
Some breaking news now. The FBI says that the weapon used to murder conservative political activist Charlie Kirk has been found in a wooded area next to the campus, but the suspect still remains at large. The weapon is described as a high-powered rifle. The FBI says they're learning new details about a suspect from a video that's currently being analyzed, which could include this video you see here showing a possible suspect on the roof of a building near where Kirk was speaking at the time of the shooting. Charlie Kirk was assassinated during a rally in Utah on Wednesday afternoon. Stay with Court TV for any updates on the case investigation.
You know what I'm saying? That was a news report of them saying they found a weapon nearby in a wooden case, which was a high-powered rifle. You know what I'm saying? And then I came across a video where apparently someone had seen this dude, seen somebody on a roof. You know what I'm saying? Seen this dude climbing the roof, seen him running from the roof after the shot was fired, and so on. You know what I mean? So I came across this video here. Apparently somebody seen him on the roof or climbing the roof. Here's this clip of him on that roof that somebody seen just casually talking and happened to see somebody laying down on the roof across the way. Check this clip out.
We now have footage of the monster who took the life of Charlie Kirk. The people who took this video, I'm assuming, were on their way to Charlie's event when they stopped because they saw a man laying down on top of a campus rooftop. They said they saw him get on the roof from the other end and immediately run across and lay down in the position he is in now. Here's another video from inside of a building in the direction where Charlie is facing, and I want you to pay attention to this corner right here where immediately after the suspect opens fire and people start panicking, the suspect flees and runs away. An FBI director, Kash Patel, confirmed the subject for the horrific shooting today that took the life of Charlie Kirk is now in custody. Thank you to the local and state authorities in Utah for your partnership with FBI. We will provide updates when able. Whether you agreed with Charlie Kirk or not, this is never okay and no one deserves this. Rest in peace to Charlie. Let me know what you guys think, and as anything comes out, I'll keep you guys updated.
You seen, that was something that somebody seen pointing them out on the roof, and they using that footage, they said, to try to they used that footage to try to identify the person, which they did later, and I'm gonna go into that clip also. You know what I'm saying? The next clip that I've seen, I came across, this is where conspiracy starts to come in, and a lot of different theologies around this dude Charlie Kirk. You know what I'm saying? So I also came across this video, came across some footage of him saying some pretty racial things towards black people. I think he feel away about my community me as a black man. In this clip, a kid asked him how he feels about reparations. And this is a clip of him and what he had to say about black people wanting reparations in America. Check this clip out.
Should black people get reparations?
I believe they should.
So I, white man, have to play for black people. Why?
Wow, that's a really selfish thing you just said.
Hold on. Why should I have...
That's a really non-empathetic thing to say.
Why should I have empathy for a race? I have white guilt because I breathe? Why should the white students here have to work harder to pay for black kids? What is that all about?
Not every black person has lineage connected to slaves, and every white person doesn't have lineage connected to slaves.
Yes, that's right. So since every black person doesn't have a lineage connected to slaves, why should we generalize and say reparations for black people?
Because there are people that are in a worse place.
So over 150 years, they didn't have any ability to make better decisions, to save money, and to invest. How about you take responsibility for your own actions instead of blaming the white man?
So as you see, you know what I'm saying? That was a clip of what he had to say on black people getting reparations. And you can tell that there's something in him that don't like black people. You can see it when he speaks on them. Now, this next clip is also something I came across that has more to do with how he feels about black people and black people notions and activists and things that we go through in politics and so on. You know what I'm saying? I came across of someone asking him about Zimmerman, about O.J. Simpson, and about Carmelo Anthony. We all know Carmelo Anthony was the guy who stabbed the white kid, about the white kids that approached him, that was at that football or track meet that day, about the two football players or two other people who approached the black kid, and the black kid pulled out a knife and ended up poking one of the dudes, and he was unalive. You know what I'm saying? That's who Carmelo Anthony is. So this dude asked him, what does he feel about George Zimmerman? First he asked him about Carmelo Anthony first, and then he went to O.J. Simpson, which is the two black people in these questions. And then he asked him what he felt about George Zimmerman, and he felt that George Zimmerman is innocent. So you can see and hear in these clips that he feels a way about people with my color of skin. So this next little clip is you're gonna see is the dude asking him these three questions leading up to showing everybody that he has racism in him for show. Check this clip out.
I'm here to debate. I believe that Black Lives Matter is actually a good thing. And I believe that there's a differentiation between the statement and the foundation, because one is more popular than the other. I think that there's a bias with race in general within politics, and I think the Republican Party lacks a consistency in that. So my question to you is going to be, if I name these three names, could you tell me if they're guilty or not guilty? Okay, so the first one's going to be Carmelo Anthony.
Based on the facts available, absolutely guilty.
Okay. Now, O.J. Simpson.
Oh, absolutely guilty.
Okay. George Zimmerman.
No, self-defense. He was acquitted by a jury of his peers.
Now, if we're going based on facts, what makes the Carmelo Anthony and the George Zimmerman case different?
George Zimmerman was hunted at night by Trayvon Martin at 2 a.m. and the stand your ground law allows you to stand your ground up against people that wish you harm. Carmelo Anthony, with that Austin Metcalf, who he murdered in cold blood, said, "Don't touch me" at a high school track meet, said one thing he didn't like, took out a knife, and then brutally stabbed him to death. Those are not moral equivalents. George Zimmerman and Austin Metcalf and Carmelo Anthony are on different planets morally. Don't ever compare them. That is incredible moral confusion.
But
and I thought you'd be smarter than that.
I am. So I want to debate, how is it hunting when it was confirmed by the police department that that George Zimmerman followed him? It was the other way around.
Again, the facts around the George Zimmerman case, I'll admit, are a little bit rusty. It's been 10 years since that case. What I remember is this. It was highly scrutinized.
Right.
The jury was bipartisan. He was fully acquitted. And when all the facts came out, it was legitimate self-defense. Now, if that ends up happening in the Carmelo Anthony case, I guess I'll reevaluate it.
Right.
But again, they're not even close to in the same moral dimension.
But I would argue that they are, because George Zimmerman was told to stand back by the police department. He had no authority to follow him. And it was a self-defense case where the problem is he who dies does not get to testify. The only fact that was presented in court was based on George Zimmerman's testimony.
Okay, I want to speed this up. I don't think people even know who George Zimmerman is in this audience. This was a decade ago.
So we could go with O.J. Simpson.
Well, which crime of O.J. Simpson are we talking about? Because he was incarcerated twice.
Well, the crime of the murder.
Okay.
What makes you believe that he's guilty if you're going based on fair law judgment rather than emotional bias?
Again, you really think that was a fair trial? First of all, the police screwed up a lot of stuff. Let's just be honest. The police was the reason why O.J. Simpson was accused. They reached too far. They wanted to get a guilty verdict too much. Kardashian pounced.
You know what I'm saying? That was dude asking him what he felt first about the 2 black men and then about a non-black man who killed a black kid. And he said that man was innocent, he believes. You know what I mean? We're going to get to the closing thoughts, how I feel about that. The next one is we get into a bit of conspiracy theory with this last clip I'm going to show you. You know what I'm saying? This is a bit of conspiracy on the shot that of where it came from. You know what I mean? A lot of people was analyzing the way that his shirt popped up. It definitely tell that it popped up from the inside coming out instead of a bullet going in. You know what I'm saying? You could definitely see that in the shirt. The impact from something came from inside of his shirt for sure. At least that's what it looks like to me. You know what I'm saying? They're putting together, this clip is putting together some type of theory that the dude next to him shot him from the side. You know what I'm saying? As he had his arms. Yo, what's up? What's happening? Breaking news. Let me interrupt this breaking news. Let me interrupt these current events. Let me interrupt these headlines. You feel me? If you digging this content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Do that right now. You know what I'm saying? That was your time to go ahead and hit that. If you watching this episode and you ain't subscribed yet, I'm giving you time in the middle of this good information that you getting to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You know what I mean? And if you got something to say based off what I'm saying, go ahead and hit that comment button and leave me a comment, you know what I mean, based off these topics, you know what I'm saying, that you're seeing. You know what I'm saying? Do that for me. You feel me? And go ahead and share this. Feel free to share this on your social medias, on your platforms, share it in your text groups, text messages with your family, all that. You know what I mean? Ain't no more profanity on this channel. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no more cussing in the episode. So share it with your kids. Watch it with your family. You know what I mean? Hit that subscribe button for me, though. Let's get back to the episode. He kind of did one of these numbers, you know what I mean, and shot him kind of under his arm from the side of him. You know what I mean? Similar to how the theory goes around, or the video that we've seen about Kennedy, with the driver reaching around and shooting Kennedy in the head. You know what I'm saying? This is something similar to that. You know what I mean? I don't know what kind of gun, but you know, the government, they create what they want to get what they want done. You know what I mean? So check this little next clip out. This is getting definitely into conspiracy theory about where the shot came from. This is showing you that the dude next to him was looking pretty suspicious and looked like he might have had a gun and might have pulled the trigger from the side of him. Check this clip out.
Right there.
His shirt went up and everything. I knew it was a side shot.
So as you see, you know what I'm saying? That was just a little conspiracy theory that somebody was putting together, showing you that dude definitely had something in his hand when he raised his hand down after the shot went off. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what he had. It definitely looked like he had something, though. You know what I mean? I don't know what it was, but it definitely looks suspicious, as if he just pulled the trigger of some sort. You know what I mean? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? What y'all think? Let me know in the comments what y'all think about this Charlie Kirk, quote unquote, assassination. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's all of the topics that I have for today. You know what I mean? Just these 2 little topics. I got a lot to do today. I wanted to record earlier, but getting lost in that research about Charlie Kirk and going down the rabbit hole of that and going down different theories and conspiracies of that, I got lost in it. You know what I'm saying? Usually when I'm doing research and I see something that intrigues me, I get lost in it. Same how I did for yesterday's episode. I got lost about the dude who stabbed the girl on the light rail in Charlotte. You know what I'm saying? Got lost in that. That was a weird case to me. You know what I'm saying? I got lost in looking that up. You know what I mean? So I wanted to record way earlier, but I got lost in looking at this stuff about Charlie Kirk. You know what I'm saying? Because I wanted to find out who dude was. Like I said, I never heard of him. You know what I mean? But we're going to get to that in the closing final thoughts. But that was the 2 subjects I wanted to go over. 2 subjects I wanted to go over today. You know what I mean? That was the 2 subjects I have for today. You know what I'm saying? So in this episode 301, I just let you know an update on the dude D4vd, also known as David. It was a TikTok star, a singer. He was on tour at the time when his car was at the tow yard and they recovered a body. I let you know the update on the body and who that person was, and they found a tattoo that was on that person's finger that read shh. Also let you know about Charlie Kirk being sniped in the neck yesterday morning at a Utah campus. You know what I'm saying? While he was up there doing a speech, answering questions and giving answers out to the students who had a question for him. You know what I'm saying? One student had asked him something about, do you know how many transgenders have committed crimes or shootings in the United States in the past year? Something like along the lines that he was asked right after he answered that question is when the shot came. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's the two topics I had for today. You know what I'm saying? That's the two topics I have for you today. Definitely wanted to cover that Charlie Kirk, being that happened in the midst of me doing research yesterday. I came across that as it happened. Definitely wanted to cover that today. You know what I mean? But that's all I have for episode 301. You know what I mean? That's everything we went over. So for the final closing thoughts on these two days, you know what I'm saying? So this dude, D4vd, you know what I'm saying? That was just a little update. I don't got too many closing thoughts on that. That was just an update to let you know that they found a tattoo on the finger, that she had a tattoo that said shh on her index finger. You know what I'm saying? A lot of women will get that, you know what I mean? Get that on their finger as if you put your finger up to your lips and, you know, shh, you know, hush, hush, you know, as if you got a secret of some sort. You know what I mean? I don't understand the meaning of the tattoo, but I have seen it several times on women's fingers. You know what I'm saying? She had the body that was in the trunk had that tattooed on her finger. You know what I mean? But I think dude is innocent, though. If I'm gonna really tell you my opinion on that, I think he's definitely innocent. I don't think he caught a body. I don't think he had anything to do with that body. I think it's definitely somebody going around catching bodies and putting them in trunks of cars at tow yards, being that they found a body in another car at a tow yard out there in LA County about a week prior to them finding this one. So somebody is definitely out there on some serial killer and definitely catching bodies and putting them in trunks. I don't think this dude David had anything to do with this body that was found in this Tesla. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't even in LA. He wasn't in LA a week prior. He wasn't even in LA when the body was found. So I definitely think dude is innocent. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he had nothing to do with that body at all. You know what I mean? And if you do the research on dude, he don't seem like anybody who was involved in any kind of street activity. He wasn't talking about guns or catching a body or putting you on a t-shirt and none of the songs. So I think he's definitely innocent. Charlie Kirk, you know what I'm saying? Charlie Kirk got sniped in the neck. I went down the rabbit hole with this, you know what I mean, and seen a bunch of people's opinions. A bunch of people had strong opinions about this dude. Apparently a lot of people didn't agree with a lot of things that he had to say. He definitely felt the way about black folks. You know what I'm saying? He definitely spoke out against us as the people in these situations that might have been put in public scrutiny and public eye. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure he felt like George Floyd was not a victim. I'm sure he felt like George Floyd was probably a suspect. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure he felt like George Floyd was probably in need of that, or what happened to him. You know what I mean? Based off the little thesis and based off the little videos that I've seen of what he has to say about my people. You know what I mean? He's definitely not too fond of people with my color of skin. You know what I'm saying? He was asked about reparations. What does he think about reparations in the black community, and if we need them and should get them or not? And he said that we don't need them. You know what I mean? He's attacking EBT and wants to cut that off, and had a whole bunch of colorful things to say about my community. You know what I mean? So people didn't like this dude based off a lot of stuff that he had to say. He definitely had attacks on the LGBTQT community also. You know what I'm saying? He also has some words for them, and they also didn't like dude. You know what I mean? So this dude had opinions that a lot of people just didn't agree with, or none of that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people didn't like him. I've even seen people full on happy dancing, celebrating about this man being dead. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people didn't like dude. Like I said, he shared some opinions that was just scrutinized by the public, you know what I'm saying, by how he feels about certain things, you know what I mean? And I gotta agree with some of the public on scrutinizing dude, you know what I mean? Like I said, he spoke bad on my people, you know what I'm saying, on who we are as a black people, you know what I mean? He didn't have nice things to say. The fact that you thought and feel that George Zimmerman is innocent is wild, you know what I'm saying? You said this in front of thousands of students, that you feel that George Zimmerman is an innocent man, you know what I'm saying? And he killed a young black teenager, shot him dead, left him in the grass. You know what I mean? For you stalking him, and he turned around and him swinging on you, and you decide to pull out a pistol and pop him in the chest, and you Mr. Charlie Kirk is justifying this? You justifying Carmelo Anthony? You justifying the white boys coming up to him, not minding their business, sticking their heads in somebody else's business. They didn't have to come up to that kid. They didn't have to come up to him, threaten him, you know what I'm saying, posing a threat, talking threatening words, you know what I'm saying, and he by himself. Oh, man, I'm not too fond of stuff that I came across that dude had to say about black people, you know what I'm saying? He just seems like he got a whole lot of racial bones in his body, and he don't like us as a people, you know what I'm saying? He don't like my people, so I don't know what to feel about him being sniped and assassinated, you know? I don't know what to feel about it, being that I didn't know too much about dude, so I can't really make a harsh judgment. I can only judge him off the stuff that I've seen, you know what I'm saying? I don't have years of seeing this. I didn't know dude years prior, you know, I don't have a whole bunch of video. I just got the videos that I came across in dude's death, you know what I mean? And he just seemed like he wasn't too fond of my people, you know? So that definitely makes me feel a way about him, without any doubt, if I'm gonna be completely honest, you know what I mean? It's all bad he lost his life, you know what I'm saying? Condolences to his family and the people that love him, you know what I mean? It's a tragic event when someone that you love or care about loses their life in such a tragic way, you know what I mean? But like I said, this is just my opinion based off what I've seen in the research and putting this episode together, and he was not fond of people with my same skin color, you know what I mean? And I don't really know, I feel a way about people who are putting boasting racism, you know what I mean, in 2025, you know what I'm saying? Either you gonna grow up or go body yourself, you know what I mean? And that's we here. We black folks is here to stay. It ain't nothing you can do about us. It ain't nothing. You can't eradicate us. You can't tell us to go back to Africa like y'all like to say, you know what I'm saying? The races that we done endured, we can't do. We here. You feel me? And we was some of the first motherfuckers here on this mother. You know what I'm talking about? The first ones. You feel me? Real superiority. You know what I mean? We don't need to get into none of that. You know what I'm saying? Go look at the black episode, like I pointed out to you in a couple episodes ago. You know what I'm saying? I let you know all about my people and my skin color. You know what I mean? But yeah, though, you know what I'm saying? That's all I got to say. I ain't going to go too much on this Charlie Kirk dude and this situation. You know what I mean? But that's how I feel about it, though. You know what I'm saying? People who ain't really fond of being racial and all that, and ain't really fond of black folks, I ain't really too fond of you. You know what I mean? Just the same with Hulk Hogan. You know what I'm saying? He had colorful things to say about black people, you know what I mean? And I feel a way, you know? I don't know, even in death, I felt a way about that, you know what I mean? He was a legend, you know what I'm saying? And I definitely tip my hat to him for being a legend and what he did for wrestling, you know what I'm saying? But the fact that stuff that you said about black people was very, very disgusting and very racist, and I can't forgive you, even in death. But this was episode 301, you know what I'm saying? Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. You know what I mean? Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. You know what I'm saying? Because we all know you could have been doing anything that you wanted to do when you seen this. You feel me? Before it popped up, before you clicked play, whatever it was that you was doing, you didn't have to sit here and watch this episode. You know what I'm saying? But since you did, you know what I mean? Whoever you was, you could have been a brother, a sister, you know what I'm saying? Could have been an older cousin, a big cousin, you know what I'm saying? You could have been a niece, a nephew, an auntie, an uncle, you know what I'm saying? You could have been cousin Pete, cousin Man, you could have been cousin Mookie, could have been cousin Pookie, could have been cousin Mook, cousin Man, you feel me? Cousin Earl, whoever you is, you know what I'm saying? If you got your pets there and they sitting there watching too, right along with you, whether your pet is a little cat curled up next to you, a little puppy, a little dog, you could have a pet hamster, you can have a pet hedgehog, a pet ferret, you have a pet squirrel, a pet lion, a pet snake. It could be a snake in his cage twirling around, you know what I'm saying, catching a rat while he watching this. You feel me? I appreciate it and salute to you. Like you see the homie scrolling up the screen. You know what I'm saying? But thank all y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for watching. You know what I mean? Thank y'all for watching me cook up episode 301. Thank y'all for sharing my opinions and views on these topics. You know what I mean? Thank you for tuning in. The beat you hear creeping up in the background was made by none other than old Amazing Beats. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to my nigga O. While he talked to y'all in the background while these credits roll and get my last little tidbits of comments on these topics. You know what I'm saying? It was only 2, so it ain't gonna be that much. And I'm also let you know in these credits that this is independently ran. You feel me? This is edited, this is lighted, this is directed, orchestrated, written all by me. You know what I mean? Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. You know what I mean? Episode 301. I hope y'all have a good day.
hate me, don't you? You 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 hate me, don't you?
Hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. You understand that? You understand that?